Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Injustice 2. In this video, we are going to be talking about the patch that's going to be hitting the game. So yeah, there is officially a patch coming. Things are going to be changed with the release of Starfire, and generally from what I've seen, I'm pretty happy. I would say like 95% happy with this patch. I think NRS did a good job. There are some things I don't agree with. However, that's what this video is here for. We're going to be looking at all the characters that are getting major changes. And just before we start, I do want to say that the official patch notes are not out yet. What I'm reading is all things that have been compiled by other people who watched the stream. I did watch the stream as well, but I didn't write stuff down. So again, this might not be the full extent of everything, but these are just kind of like the big things. So if I miss something, that's probably the reason. I also won't go into every change for every character because there's quite a lot, and not all of them are that relevant. Some of them, there are still a few bug fixes and all that. Alright, let's start with Swamp Thing. The Swamp Thing has been the big one. I've been calling for changes. And the first thing is that Vine Grab now has armor while character power is active. So, that means that when Swamp Thing is standing in Abigail's garden, he gets a hit of armor. And that is really good, because one of the things that was really shitty about the Vine Grab is that you basically couldn't zone anyone with it. I mean, there are so many good zoners in this game that you couldn't use it to counter an opponent trying to zone you. So really good change. Next up, character power recovers faster, which NRS has also said it can also be used in combos, which I'm not sure how it will work. But that's really good as well because Abigail's Garden was way too slow for what it did. It also no longer goes away after using certain moves. Won't go away upon blocking an opponent's attacks, which is really good. Again, you want to have a use for Abigail's Garden, which it didn't really have. And there's a general increase for big-bodied characters, which I think also covers Bane, but it covers Swamp Thing as well. So overall, I think Swamp Thing is going to be more of a threat now. Not sure how big of a threat, but the fact that he has an armored command grab is kind of like Bane is, I think, going to help him. We'll see how he pairs up with the rest of the characters. Alright, next one. Aquaman. This is the big one. A lot of people are salty as shit about this, which is really weird because reading Twitter and everything, this is when it became apparent to me that no one actually mains Aquaman. Everyone just kind of tier hoard Aquaman or had him as a secondary character, kind of the same with Black Adam as well. I cannot name a single person who just kind of mained Black Adam. Everyone kind of just switched to him after losing and all that. But Aquaman, Meter Burn Tentacle Strike no longer launches an opponent. It's basically a hard knockdown, which from what I've seen is basically going to mean that the meter burn is not going to have too much use. But that remains to be seen. Maybe there's going to be some use to it, but again, I'm not 100% sure. His launcher now is his scoop, which I think they did say that the scoop now launches higher. And that's completely fine. He still has a combo tool. I think he's still going to be able to deal a lot of damage. He's still going to be hard to break down. That's what you have to remember. Aquaman's defenses are really hard to break down. So again, before everyone freaks out, just wait until the patch is released before calling a character dead. I think he's still going to be good. If he can still launch, I think with the scoop, if the scoop is going to be his main launcher, he's going to be a little bit more like Robin, I guess. In that because I think the scoop does side switch, so he's gonna have kind of side switching combos, but hopefully he's still gonna be able to do damage. Also, Trident Rush pretty much got the nerf that I've been asking for. Does less damage on hit and block, and builds less meter. And apparently the back to 1-3 is now negative, which I didn't even know this thing was positive, but that's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, that's now negative. Alright, Catwoman. Catwoman also got some changes that I think are pretty warranted. She got a general damage reduction, which if you look at some of her damage, it was kind of insane. The jump 2 has been kind of changed a little bit. The angle has been reduced. And the back 3. I'm really happy that they touched the back 3. And for some reason, they took away the armor from the Cat Dash, which I'm not sure how big of a threat that really was. But I think Cat Dash is good on its own anyways. It moves so quickly, and it pretty much should be used more for punishing an opponent, whiff punishing and all that. But yeah, the back three is the one that really makes me happy. And I think the damage reduction as well. I think Catwoman is still going to be ridiculously good. She's just a great character. She has a great backdash and all that, and that's going to stay. Also, her character power no longer has invincibility, which again is fair because it deals a lot of damage and she has other better wake-ups. Not better wake-ups, but she has other wake-ups. Atrocitus, this is the one. Again, I said in my the changes I want video, which I made like a week ago, that I think Atrocitus is really hard to balance because, as someone in the comments pointed out, as soon as you get Dexter out, he pretty much goes from a mid-tier character to the best character in the game. But basically what they did is that using Dexter's abilities drains more of Dexter's meter. He's not going to be able to shoot as much, and if you use his abilities, he's going to go away quicker, which I think is completely fair. Also, the 4-2-2-3 into the vomit attack is no longer a true block string, which is good because, again, it was ridiculous. Napalm vomit is now high and it can be ducked, and it's more negative on block. Alright, Flash got a few changes. He got a Running Man 2 change, which is now safe on block. I don't even know, I think it's like a pound attack. Again, I don't play Flash. Out of all the characters, I probably have some of the least knowledge with Flash. And he got increased damage scaling in certain combos. Completely warranted because even though Flash is not that good in many ways, some of his damage was a little OP and kind of had to be toned down compared to like damage from the rest of the cast. Alright, Batman. They pretty much changed just the meter burn batarangs to have less frame advantage. I think that's good. That's definitely good. I am surprised and kind of a little bit worried that they did not touch the Jump 2. The Jump 2 was Batman's biggest problem, I think, and the bats. So they touched kind of half of the problem. I don't know. That remains to be seen. I think the Jump 2 is still insane and Batman should not have it because it's like so unpredictable. And yeah, I don't know. It remains to be seen. We'll see. There could, again, also be more changes that just weren't covered. Again, full patch notes are not out. Red Hood. I'm surprised actually Red Hood got some changes. He has less frame advantage after Lethal Lunge, which I think is warranted because as far as I know, that move is like insanely hard to punish, even though it's supposed to be negative. A lot of the times, even though I only fight a few Red Hoods, I've had trouble punishing the move. Superman got changes to his flying punch attack. It now no longer has armor, and also the up charge or whatever that thing is called, where basically his wake up got toned down as well. Again, it's one of those moves that both of those moves were kind of OD in that they were a little difficult to punish, so glad for the change, even though I do play Superman. And he got some damage adjustments. Again, surprised they didn't do anything about his dive kick, but who knows. Damage adjustments I think were needed for Superman. Alright, Gorilla Grodd took away the infinite, completely fine. No one wants an infinite character. Stampede deals more damage, which I'm really happy about because that was like one of the puniest moves in the game. Like, it's supposed to be like this giant ass gorilla beating on you, and it like barely dealt any damage, so hopefully that's going to be a little bit better. And they changed his trait a bit. Again, not too familiar with Grodd, but I think he can cancel into it quicker, which is going to help him a lot because he does have the projectile immunity, which I think they changed. Cheetah now has 2 strings that are safe on block. Makes Cheetah a little bit better because even though she has like good mix-ups, she had like no safe strings, so she was a very risky character. Hopefully that's going to make her a little bit more viable. Deadshot pretty much got the changes I kind of wanted. They didn't take away his overhead or low overhead string, but they did make it come out slower and it's more negative, so hopefully that's going to be more reactable. Poison Ivy got a better down 2. I don't know, don't play Poison Ivy, and I think no one plays Poison Ivy, but better down 2 is warranted because I think that is like one of these like big, it's supposed to be kind of like a big hitbox move, but it like didn't have a big hitbox. So who knows, I don't know if that will help her. Again, I know nothing about Poison Ivy. Supergirl, I do play a lot. I do think she's kind of like a better Blue Beetle. That's why I kind of play her. Oh, by the way, surprisingly, Blue Beetle didn't get anything, so that's kind of disappointing, honestly. but she got a damage increase. I honestly don't know if she needed it. I think Supergirl was fine, honestly, because she did very well at chipping away at your HP. But I don't know, maybe. She did have trouble kind of contending with Black Adam and Superman, all the really high damage characters. But with the nerfs to those characters, I don't know, remains to be seen. Back 123 is now safe on block, which is, I think, a really good change, because that string was pretty much useless. You could pretty much just cancel into the breath attack, meter burn that, and make it safe. That was the only way for Supergirl to be safe, because she's like super unsafe still. And 2 is slightly slower but hits mid. Again, pretty much every character has mid for the 2. Why didn't Supergirl? So that's a good change, I think. Alright, Dr. Fate. Damage increase a little bit for combos that use a lot of resources. I mean, it's good. Fair enough. I mean, this character is a zoner, but he does have some good combos. And Glyph of Osiris is slightly less negative, which I'm pretty sure that's his wake up. And honestly, if you know how to get around Dr. Fate's wake up, it is really easy to get around this. So that should be, I think that's his wake up, I think. Not 100% sure. Again, not a character I'm super familiar with. Black Canary, 3-3 is now advantage on block. And as far as I know, Canary kind of suffered from the same issue as Cheetah, in that she really didn't have any safe strings, so she couldn't really do much in many respects. And any of the follow-ups from her kind of, not dive kick, but her, it's called the handspring special move, cause more knockback, and I think are more plus on block. Back 1-2 deals more damage, safe on block. Again, just kind of making her more safe. And the 1-1-2-1-2 is now a true grab. Again, I think she needed it, because even though she has good mix-ups, if you know how to block those mix-ups, she didn't really have much else. She pretty much lived and died by the mix, and more often than not, she died. Alright, Wonder Woman. Air Shield Toss Meter Burn works more like the ground version, so you can follow up with a combo. 4-2-3 is safe on block, which is good because that low attack is super slow to come out. So that should help a lot. I mean, if it's that slow, it should at least be safe. Other than that, back 2-3 is also advantage on block, and the character power has reduced recovery frames. I do have to mention, a lot of people wanted Wonder Woman to have kind of a selectable trait, but I honestly think that would have been way too OP. Like, she has some really useful skills out of that trait, so I think I always thought it should be random. However, less recovery frames, maybe you can even use it in a combo or something, so I think that's good. Black Adam, kind of what we expected, reduced damage across the board, and he has to now meter burn the cloud attack for a combo, which is good because basically no other character other than Black Adam really has meterless combos in this game, so why should he? And really happy about the reduced damage. I think it's gonna make him a lot more fair. Captain Cold, my man, who I haven't been using a lot lately because I realized how bad he is. It's kind of, he has so many terrible matchups, but he basically got hitbox adjustments, which I hope means that the triple high string that he has is a little bit more useful. 3 is a better anti-air. I don't even know what 3 is because something you don't even use. Frost Field activates faster, really good. And the meter burn ice wall has a smaller gap, which is really good because that was so annoying when you tried meter burning and you got hit out of it. But you basically had a giant wall of ice in front of you. So now it's pretty much one frame, so it's down to luck. You just have bad luck if you get hit by it. Robin also got some hitbox adjustments. He can now aim the forward 3, which I think is kind of like this flip overhead. And the meter burn swoop, which I think is that his air kind of jump attack? I don't know. Robin is also someone I'm not too familiar with. Brainiac got increased damage, and if you hold down the character power and you get hit, it no longer goes away. As far as I know, it still goes away if it's on screen and you get hit, but if you hold it and it's off screen and you get hit, it won't go away on hit or block. Bane got some increased defenses, which this is kind of weird. I did not ever think Bane would get any changes because I don't think he needs them, but whatever. Increased damage for some normals and for meter burn specials, and his one is a little bit faster. Again, I don't know. I didn't feel like Bane needed any changes when you have characters like Joker and Blue Beetle who didn't get anything. I don't know, remains to be seen. Hopefully they're not going to do the same thing to this Bane as they did to Injustice 1 Bane. So again, any of the characters not mentioned here didn't get any changes. Of course, characters like Sub-Zero are brand new, so they're still being figured out. Overall, again, kind of happy with the patch. The only thing I'm pretty much not sure about are Batman's Jump 2 and Aquaman. I think it remains to be seen. Maybe they were a little harsh on Aquaman, but honestly, you know what? Fuck Aquaman, so I don't care. However, really good overall. It remains to be seen how kind of the meta of the game will change. I think basically if they get to a point where all characters are at least semi-viable, the game is going to be in a really, really good place. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little patch video. I know I'm probably like the last person who is going over the patch, but hopefully you still enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.